Hi, Michael. This is Alan Cockrell with ABC, former hitting coach for the Colorado Rockies and the Seattle Mariners. We'll take a look at your video today, Michael. First thing that I always check with all hitters is that we're under balance. And to stay under balance, we need to keep our knees inside of our feet, and then our head needs to stay inside of our knees. We pretty much need to keep this throughout the entire phase of setup to load to swing and into extension and then finish. So as you can see here, you're in a good balanced setup position. One thing that I would point out at this particular time is that we're a little straight with this front leg, this front knee. I'd like to see some good athletic bend in that front knee. But if we get to a point in our load up phase where we've got good bend in that knee, then it's not going to be an issue. But I want to point it out right now. Okay, we're going to go forward into the load phase, and the load is gathering and storing energy in order to see the ball and then make our first move into it. Okay, so this load is all going to happen right here. I want to get weight into this inside part of that back leg right there. I want to feel all of my weight transferred into the back leg and the inside part of this back leg. I want to feel, and that's going to give me good bend in this knee. And I want to feel like I'm storing energy into there, so I can then later on I will transfer it into my front leg. Okay, we're going to run forward a little bit, and what you do is you kind of just go forward without any move back. And when we do that, we have a tendency to have some difficulty handling some breaking balls and things of that nature. So, our knees inside, but I'd really like to see a little move back where we get bend in this front knee, and all the weight I feel like has been put into the inside part of that back leg. Okay, now we're going to get into the move into the ball. You don't have any move where you move your front foot where you take any type of a stride, which, you know what, it's okay. There's a lot of hitters that don't do that. At this particular point, I just want you to feel like you got weight right into there. Now we're going to transfer this weight or transfer this energy into my front leg. So everything that was stored into here, I'm now transferring it into here. Okay? There's some things that I check at this particular point. We want to make sure that our hips are squared up to home plate. I want to make sure that I have good equal bend in both knees, and we have gotten to the point where we've got some bend in that knee. Let's check to make sure our feet are still inside of our knees are still inside of our feet. We're in pretty good shape there. Okay, the other thing that I check with hitters is this stride foot right here. When it lands or when it's time to start our swing, the stride foot's not any more open than 45 degrees. Because you don't stride, you're able to keep yourself closed up pretty good. That's all nice. Okay, now as we start to drive and transfer energy, all right, with this knee driving into this front leg right here, now there's a first move that we're going to make with our hands, and that is dropping the elbow down into the slot of the rib cage next to my back hip. So we're going to run forward. Okay, we're going to get into this position. Now what I'd like to see is that this particular position, before your hips start to slide forward, we don't really want to see hips sliding forward. What I want to see is I want to see this shoulder, this back elbow, and this back hip all in an alignment. We call that the connection. And then when I get to that connected point, now my hands will start to work in front of my body or just past my center of gravity before I start to deliver the bat to the ball. Okay, we'll see where you go to. Okay, we get into close to a connection here, but again, it's I'd like to see that elbow more into that rib cage, more into that slot where the shoulder, the elbow, and the hip are in alignment. Okay. Now, once I get to this particular position, I should see this, and what I see is I see your elbow working in front of your power source, which is this back hip. Okay, and because it's worked in front, it's gonna cause us to have some difficulty with some pitches that are going to be out here on the outer half of the plate or outer third of the plate. Okay, at this particular point, again, I'd like to see that connection, and then the hands working in front of my center of gravity right in here. All right, right into this area right into this area right here. All right, we'll run forward. We'll see where we get. Okay, now the hands start to catch up. Okay, you're starting to get a good full backside turn. Backside of your body starting to turn into the ball. Okay, I'd rather see the hands here. I'd rather see the hands out here in front of my body at this point. Okay, we'll run it forward to contact. See some good things at contact. I see palm up, palm down with your hands right here. That's a good, strong position for our hands to be in. Okay, the other thing that I see is head and eyes looking right down the barrel of the bat at contact. And Michael, it's important for you to know that as soon as your head and eyes come up off your swing, the barrel of the bat is going to follow that as well. So one thing I always talk to my hitters about is we want to have our head and eyes in the hitting zone for at least one count past contact. Okay, that allows, that ensures that I'm going to go ahead and get full extension through the baseball in my follow through. As you can see here, we're getting some good extension where the barrel of the bat's facing the pitcher. Okay, and then we start to finish just a little bit abruptly off around our body just a little bit. And the reason for that finish is not extension here and then a longer, fuller arc in our finish is, for me, it all happens right here. It all happens right here. When I get this elbow in front of that power source and my hands haven't started to move in front of my body, then it causes me to cut my swing off, and then my arc looks more like this. I don't get the extension or the finish in the follow-through, the drive that the finish in the follow-through can provide. So what I'd like to see you do is we're going to set a tee out here on the outer third of the plate, right here. We're going to set it even with my stride foot, okay? I'm going to put a ball on there. We're going to get to our loaded position. We're going to get to right here. I'm going to feel that transfer of weight. I'm going to feel the transfer of weight from the back knee to the inner thigh, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get in this connected position where my back shoulder, this back elbow, and this back hip are all in alignment. And now I just want to think about skipping a rock, skipping a flat rock across a lake. And that's the movement, or that's the motion that the back elbow and the top hand have in the swing process. Okay? So when I get to the connected position, I'm going to slide it down in there. Now my hand goes forward to release the barrel of the bat to stay through the ball. Your extension will stay through the ball. You know, if we're in a cage, we're hitting this to the right side. If we're on the field, we're hitting this through the second baseman or into right center field. But your extension will stay through the ball longer, and then your finish will be a lot fuller and a lot longer in its arc coming around after the swing. So just want to make sure that we get to this connected position right there, shoulder, elbow, hip, and then from there, top hand skips the rock, and I just feel the extension, and I feel the bat speed staying through that ball and driving it to the right side. Okay? Michael, I want to thank you for coming to our camp, bud. I think this is a drill that will help you, and I wish you all the luck.